Mamma mia! Hello and welcome to another SciFirst MovieTalk episode. So in this episode I'll be discussing, if you haven't guessed it, the 2023 animated video game adaptation, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, as directed by Horvath and Michael Jelenic, based on the ever-popular Nintendo video game franchise, the Super Mario Bros. And its associated adjacent properties. The movie isn't the first time Mario has hit the big screen, and in fact, it's not the first time he's been animated either for a feature-length adaptation. But it is the first time in almost 30 years following the disappointing box office and critical bombing of the last attempt to bring the Tenacious Plumbers to the big screen with 1993's live-action adaptation, Super Mario Bros. But after all of that time, was the wait actually worth it to see Mario and co in all of their bombastic cinematic glory, glimmering with all of their vivid luminosity? Well, this movie opts to press the reset button, bringing us an origin story for the dynamic duo once again. Catching up with them as a couple of Brooklyn plumbers looking to start their own business, but meeting just a few kind of unfortunate challenges along the way. Seizing an opportunity one night to save Brooklyn from a plumbing disaster, our duo, Mario as voiced by Chris Pratt and his brother Luigi as voiced by Charlie Day, stumble across a sealed chamber deep underneath the city, only to find an ominous green pipe that transports them to another universe. Split up along the way, Mario finds himself in a strange new world, engulfed by mushrooms, and soon befriends one of the world's inhabitants, a backpacking adventurer named Toad, as voiced by Keegan-Michael while Luigi finds himself in a dark, foreboding place filled with the stuff of nightmares. With the help of Princess Peach, as voiced by Anya Taylor-Joy, Mario embarks on a journey not only to find his brother, but also to save the lands of this universe from a tyrannical overlord known as Bauza, King of the Koopas, as voiced by Jack Black, who's intent on the wanton destruction of each and every kingdom in this diverse world to reign supreme, whilst also looking to take Princess Peach as his queen. On their journey to reunite with each other, both Mario and Luigi meet a whole host of interesting and colourful characters, sample new and exotic lands, and face a whole host of unique and often treacherous challenges. Mamma mia! This is certainly going to be an adventure the kind of which the brothers never could have believed in their wildest dreams. So, anybody up for a game of Super Mario? As this is exactly what this felt like. At times I felt a little bit out of place sat there in the cinema. I really should have taken my SNES controller. At times it really did feel as though we should have been playing along. Now, that would have been an interactive cinematic experience. But really, this really does actually play out as if we were actually immersed in playing one of the games. And there are so many more, there's so more than a few kind of times I found myself trying to kind of double jump, catch a power up, and kind of duck and cover using a controller I never had. Brilliant. I can honestly say that I don't think I've ever seen a video game adaptation that kind of hit in quite the same way. It's an absolute plethora of Easter eggs, characters, throwbacks, teasers, and anything and everything else you can think of from the games. There really has been an attention and forethought to kind of cram in literally as much from the whole franchise as absolutely possible. And then when you think you've probably logged it all, they throw even more your way from every possible conceivable land within the Mario universe. Based on what I had kind of seen from the trailers, this didn't disappoint. It was everything they promised and everything I'd hoped for. It is definitely a video game adaptation that pretty much does everything it says on the tin. And, to be fair, is probably a perfect representation of the imagery and connectivity of the franchise as it currently stands, whilst also recognising the property's roots, bringing a cavalcade of nostalgia for Mario's exploits and adventures through the ages. From a world-building perspective, it's amazingly set out like a level select map in one of the games. Even down to the way the characters move and kind of proceed through each of the lands. has kind of been carefully rendered to bring absolute pure delight. From tunneling into the famous green pipes, to battling out on Rainbow Highway from Mario Kart, or having a throwdown with Donkey Kong, it's all done with the best possible intentions towards the franchise as a whole, bringing a bright, colourful, breezy adaptation that's very much eager to please. The music is also something else, absolutely. Brilliantly mixed and composed to bring pretty much every theme, reinvention from the franchise that you can think of. Chatting Mario through the ages, from his signature tune through to the dungeon level and underwater themes. Donkey Kong again, Mario Kart, Nintendo 64, Mario 64, an absolute Mario jukebox. And then don't get me started on the sound effects, which are faithfully and hilariously recreated. It also manages to kind of mix in some 80s cheese while it's at it, so it simply just got better and better with every power-up we smashed our way through. There's never a dull moment. It is brisk, fresh and excellently paced throughout, charging from location to location, act to act, level to level. However, in all of its haste, I did find that there was really very little character development of any kind. Only what was kind of needed to kind of pass these characters off as part of Nintendo's property. We never go beyond anything we don't already know as fans, and the likes of Bauza, as excellently played as they are simply being a bad guy for being a bad guy's sake. There's very little in the way of emotional involvement or connectivity, which, although it's still an absolutely fun movie, no doubt, it is one that is very much leaning towards its own fan base. It literally shouts out to them and certainly leverages this. If you've kind of grown up and loved the franchise, there is an absolute plethora in this for you. Personally, almost. If not, then you're probably going to wonder what half of the references are. And with an overall kind of plot that's thin on the ground, little character development, that's really what the bulk of this movie is. References and kind of meta playing tribute to the Mario universe itself. It does kind of gloss over much of its own plot points in favour of speed, you know? It is a little bit of style over substance. Yes, it is. I can't argue that. I wouldn't say it was incoherent, however, as a result. It does kind of flow pretty much, easily as it goes through, but perhaps at times it could have just done with just a little bit more padding, a little bit more sprinkle of just something more. Now, I am totally biased in this respect. There's a disclaimer for you, if you just haven't noticed already. I'm certainly one of those fans this movie was aimed at, and it seemed almost like it could have been a personal homage to my countless hours playing these games. And I can feel it covered every conceivable angle you could think of, yet still managing to have many avenues open to explore in future adventures. Opening up almost limitless possibilities. It certainly played to my imagination and profound love for the games. Filling up with hay fever. The fact that it is a little bit lacking in places means that they had plenty of room left for all of the Mario goodies that they throw our way. It keeps things simple, and in my opinion, this plays very much to what this film was trying to achieve. And this approach will certainly go down a storm in keeping a younger audience's attention. And it's about all it really ever needed to be. Overall, although my love for Mario and Luigi's first cinematic outing from 1993 will never die, it's a different kind of love, one that's steeped in nostalgia and one that plays to the cinema of its time. The movie, however, I can't deny, is the movie about the delectable duo that we have been waiting for, and indeed, the one the franchise deserves. The plot was a bit thin on the ground. It wasn't anything particularly special. There wasn't much, if any, real kind of motivated or emotionally connected character development. And indeed, I could have done with kind of seeing a little bit more from a few of the other characters, especially Luigi, poor old Luigi, who does take a bit of a sidestep for most of the film. Not to mention perhaps seeing and delving into a bit more of the varied landscape in a bit more detail, But what we did get, mamma mia, what an amazingly good time. I don't think it could have been any more Mario if it tried. From the landscapes themselves, the characters, the setup, the nostalgia, and everything else in between, the music, the sound effects, and every other nod to the iconic gaming franchise just kind of screams to the property's fan base, bringing a preppy, springy and absolutely frantic movie that spans much of the Mario Brothers universe in what seems like a flash. A total homage to their games themselves, their heritage, and what they kind of indeed have become. So, that brings me to the end of this episode. Many thanks for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please do leave a like. Please do hit that subscribe button for my movie reviews, trailer reactions, and other movie-related content. Absolutely loved having you at SciFirst MovieTalk. Definitely love to have you back. Most of all, just thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.